Well, the main thing he teaches you is you got to land the airplane, of course, but he teaches you to study the swell systems and understand which ones are dangerous and which ones aren't. You can land parallel to big swells. I mean, talking about 60-foot long swells. If you land parallel to them, you can't land across them very well because they're big and they're deep, and so you hit into them, you bounce off of them, and so forth. You got to land parallel to the big swell. If this minor chop is over 3 or 4 feet, you probably can't land a PBM in it. You got to be careful. But anyway, I think the main thing I would say I learned from him was to study the swell system well. Don't think just because it looks like it's not much. You got to be careful. Altitude makes things look small. It's when you get right down on top of it that you find out,
it's pretty
this is not the thing I saw a few minutes ago. But that was because I was at altitude, you see. So you got there, you learned a lot just by flying with him. And then, of course, he was good. He was good at landing the airplane, and he was good at taking it off.
When you say 60 feet, that's between the peaks, right?
That's right, a swell system, yeah.
A swell.
60 feet is not very far.
That probably isn't, no.
Yeah, see, that 60-foot swell is not a big deal.
And you can land down a 60-foot swell.
You can land down them. It was no problem at all. It just, I mean, you land on the top or in this. You can't land if it's too steep. You're able to hit your wing floats on it. But if you're landing on the parallel to the swell, you can land in tremendous big swells. If it's relatively calm in the chop, in other words, there's very little wind, you get a chop, whitecaps, at about 13 knots or so, 12 or 13 or 14 knots. So if you see whitecaps, you got pretty good wind already. See?
Mm-hmm. And then when you're taking off, that's got to be a trick.
Well, yeah, the wind is good. You may be off wind, that's right. But what you try to do is go to the element of the wind that you can use and stay in the swell system. And you may have to take it at an angle, see? But hey, I never landed in the ocean at a PBY. They did it all the time in the South Pacific, picking up pilots. South Pacific can be calmer times, but those were fabulous pilots in those days. And people land at sea get good at it. It's like anything. You get better at it.
Yeah.
If you can read the element you're landing in and you know it well, you're going to get better. Mm-hmm. And it had a big flat wing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the PBY.
And no flaps.
No flaps. The flaps can help you slow down a little bit. But this was such a big airplane, it could slow down pretty well anyway. See,
just air resistance, huh?
It was just a good airplane, and